The illusion of endless availability. They expect you to always be there, to always listen, to always help. And why? Because you've allowed it. Because every time they needed something, your time, your energy, your presence, you gave it freely without hesitation. And yet, have you noticed? The more you give, the less they appreciate. The more you show up, the more they assume you always will. This is the illusion of endless availability, a dangerous trap that turns generosity into expectation and kindness into obligation. The ancient Stoics understood this. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, warned us about being too freely available. He said, "Associate with people who will improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach." But if someone only takes from you without giving, without appreciation, what exactly are they teaching you? They are teaching you that your time, your energy, your presence are things to be expected, not valued. When people assume you will always be there, they stop seeing you as a gift. They start seeing you as a convenience. And here's the harsh truth. You are not obligated to anyone who does not reciprocate your energy. Think about it. When was the last time you said no to someone? When was the last time you chose your own well-being over someone else's expectations? If the answer is too long ago, then ask yourself why. Because deep down, you know the answer. You fear their reaction. You fear disappointing them. You fear losing them. But let's be honest. If someone only stays in your life because you say yes to everything, were they ever really there for you? The danger being too nice. There's a danger in being too nice. Not because kindness is wrong, but because kindness without boundaries invites disrespect. People do not value what they believe is limitless. If they think you will always answer phone, they won't rush to call you. If they think you will always support them, they won't appreciate it. And here's the truth that hurts. It's not their fault. It's yours. You taught them that your time is free. You showed them that your presence is guaranteed. You allowed them to believe that no matter how little they give in return, you will always be there. And setting the standard for how you're treated. The Stoics believed in controlling what is within our power. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control what you accept. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And what do you think when you are constantly undervalued? Do you believe it's your duty to endure it? Or do you recognize that your worth is too great to be ignored? Your time is not free. Your energy is not unlimited. Your presence is not a right for others to claim. It is a privilege that must be earned. But here's the challenge. Teaching them this will require change. And change is uncomfortable. The first step, the power of silence. What happens when you stop answering immediately? What happens when you take longer to respond? What happens when you choose not to be available every second of the day? At first, they might be confused. Then they might be frustrated. And finally, they will understand. Because here's the secret. People only value what they believe they could lose. When they realize you're no longer always there, they will begin to wonder. They will begin to think. They will begin to recognize your absence. The test of true value. The test is simple. Stop giving freely and observe. Who checks in when you are silent? Who reaches out without asking for anything? Who values you even when you are not useful? These are the people worth your time. But those who only notice your absence when they need something, those who guilt trip you for pulling away, those who act as if you owe them your presence, they were never truly with you to begin with. Redefining your worth. This is not about revenge. This is not about manipulation. This is about self-respect. The Stoics taught us that we are responsible for what we tolerate. If you tolerate being taken for granted, you will always be undervalued. So, starting today, let them learn, not through words, not through anger, but through your absence. And when they finally understand the cost of taking you for granted, you will have gained something greater than their respect. You will have gained your freedom. The power of absence. Absence. A concept so simple, yet so powerful. What happens when you remove yourself from a place where you were once always present? What happens when you stop giving your time, your energy, your presence so freely? You create a void. And in that void, something incredible happens. people begin to notice. They notice that the person they once relied on is no longer there. They notice that the attention they once took for granted has disappeared. They notice that the convenience you provided is gone. And in that absence, they begin to understand the true value of your presence. The Stoic wisdom of withdrawal. The great Stoic philosophers knew the power of withdrawing your presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." What does this mean? It means that the greatest loss is not losing people. It's losing yourself in the process of trying to be everything for everyone. Too often, we remain in spaces where we are not valued, given to people who do not appreciate us, because we fear what will happen if we walk away. But what if walking away is a lesson? What if your absence is the shock of emptiness? People don't realize what they have until it's gone. They assume that you will always be there because you always have been. But what happens when you step back? At first, they might not even notice. Then they will assume you are busy. But eventually, the silence becomes louder than your presence ever was. Because absence is a mirror, it forces people to confront reality. When you are gone, they will see how much they relied on you, how little they appreciated you, how different things feel without you. And in that realization, they will finally begin to understand your worth. Absence is not punishment, it's a lesson. Some might say, isn't this just playing games? Isn't this manipulative? No, this is not about punishing anyone. This is about revealing the truth. People learn through contrast. We only appreciate warmth after experiencing cold. We only cherish light after enduring darkness. And we only value presence when we have felt absence. This is not about resentment. This is not about making them suffer. It is about teaching them the true cost of taking you for granted. And that cost is losing access to you. The unspoken message of distance. When you pull away, you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to announce your absence. You don't need to warn them. Let your silence do the talking. Because here's the truth. If they truly valued you, they will notice. If they truly cared, they will seek to understand. If they truly regret taking you for granted, they will change. And if they don't, then your absence was a clarity you needed all along. How to use absence as a tool for respect. So, how do you use absence correctly? 1. Do it without warning. If you constantly threaten to leave but never do, people will not take you seriously. Simply step back and observe. 2. Be consistent. If you return too quickly, they will assume they can repeat the cycle. Maintain your distance until respect is reestablished. 3. Invest in yourself instead. The time and energy you use to spend on others, use it to build yourself. Read, learn, grow, improve. 4. Observe their reaction. Do they reach out? Do they acknowledge their behavior? Do they show genuine effort? Or do they simply move on as if you never mattered? 5. Make your return conditional. If they truly want you back in their life, they must show change. They must earn your presence again. The final realization, you are the prize. At the end of the day, the greatest lesson you can teach is this. Your presence is not guaranteed. It is earned. People who truly value you will never take you for granted. People who truly respect you will never assume you are an endless resource. And people who fail to recognize your worth must learn through your absence. If they miss you, if they regret how they treated you, if they finally understand what they lost, then they have learned the lesson. And if they don't, then your absence was the best decision you ever made. Why people take you for granted? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why do people take me for granted? It's not always because they're bad people. It's not always because they mean to hurt you. Most of the time, it happens for one simple reason. You allowed it. You showed up every time. You gave without expecting anything in return. You let them believe that your kindness was automatic, that your generosity was endless, that your presence required no effort on their part. And human nature? It adapts. When something is always available, we stop noticing it. Think about the air you breathe. You don't appreciate it until you're gasping for breath. Think about water. You don't crave it until you're thirsty. And people, they don't recognize your value until you stop giving freely. The subtle shift from gratitude to expectation. This is how the mind works. At first, when you do something kind, people feel grateful. The first time you help them, they say, "Wow, thank you." The second time, they appreciate it, but don't think much of it. By the third, fourth, fifth time, they stop noticing. Now, it's not kindness. It's just what you do. And soon, something even worse happens. They begin to think that since you always say yes, since you never demand anything in return, maybe you don't actually value yourself. And if you don't value yourself, why should they? The psychological trap. The more you give, the less they see. You must understand this truth. The more freely available something is, the less people appreciate it. This isn't just human behavior. It's psychology. We desire what is scarce. Gold is valuable because it's rare. We take for granted what is abundant. Air is everywhere, so we never think about it. Now ask yourself, have you made yourself too abundant? Have you given so much that your presence no longer feels special? Because people do not respect what they do not fear losing. And if you have made yourself someone who will always be there, no matter what, then why should they ever fear losing you? The Stoic view, self-worth is not measured by others. The Stoics understood that self-worth is an internal matter. Epictetus once said, "How long will you wait before you demand the best for yourself? Look at your own life. Look at how much you have given. Now ask, have you ever demanded anything in return? Not in a selfish way, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that says, I am valuable. My time is precious. My presence is earned." Because if you have never set those standards, why would anyone else? People take you for granted because they can. Here's a harsh truth. People take you for granted because you let them. You answer the phone every time they call. You never say no, even when it drains you. You continue to show up, even when they ignore you. And as a result, they learn. I don't have to make an effort. This person will always be there. This is not their fault. It is human nature. But now, it is your job to correct it. Reclaiming your value. The solution. So, how do you stop people from taking you for granted? 1. Limit your availability. Stop being the person who is always there. Create space for people to miss you. 2. Say no without explaining. You do not owe an explanation for prioritizing yourself. A simple "I can't today" is enough. 3. Expect effort in return. Relationships should be balanced. If you always give but never receive, step back and see who notices. 4. Invest in yourself first. When you prioritize yourself, people begin to realize that you are not an endless resource. You are a person with boundaries. 5. Let them experience your absence. If they only appreciate you when you're gone, then you know the truth. They never truly valued you in the first place. The ultimate lesson. You teach people how to treat you. In life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate. If you tolerate being taken for granted, it will continue. If you allow others to expect without giving, they will. If you never set boundaries, no one will respect them. But the moment you change, the moment you demand more, the moment you walk away from those who fail to see your worth, everything shifts. And suddenly, people who once ignored you begin to notice you. People who once assumed you'd always be there begin to wonder. People who never valued your presence begin to fear your absence. Because the lesson has finally been learned. Your presence is not a right. It is a privilege. And those who fail to see that, they will learn the hard way. Through your silence, through your distance, through the undeniable realization that they never should have taken you for granted in the first place. The strength of walking away. Walking away is not weakness. Walking away is not giving up. Walking away is the ultimate display of strength. Because to walk away means to choose yourself. It means to stop seeking validation from people who never valued you. It means to break free from relationships that drain you. It means to refuse to be an afterthought in someone else's life. And that takes courage. Why walking away is hard, but necessary. Why do we struggle to walk away? Because we are afraid. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of regret. Afraid of what will happen if we stop being available. But here's the truth. You cannot lose people who were never truly there for you. You cannot break something that was never whole to begin with. And you cannot destroy real relationships by choosing yourself. If someone only values you when they fear losing you, then they never valued you at all. The illusion of comfort. Why we stay too long. There's a reason we stay in places where we are unappreciated. It's comfortable. Even when it's painful, even when we know we deserve better, it's familiar. And sometimes, familiar pain feels safer than the unknown. But staying where you are not valued is like staying in a house that is burning down. The longer you stay, the more you suffer. The longer you stay, the harder it is to leave, until one day, there is nothing left of you but ashes. Do not wait until you are completely broken before you choose yourself. The moment you feel yourself being taken for granted, that is the moment to walk away. The Stoic view, you control your exit. The Stoics understood that power is not in controlling others. It is in controlling yourself. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual." In other words, your environment shapes your growth. If you surround yourself with people who uplift you, you will rise. If you surround yourself with people who drain you, you will wither. And the moment you realize that someone is not helping you grow, the moment you see that you are being used, not valued, that is when you must walk away, not with anger, not with resentment, but with peace. The silent power of leaving. Do you want to know the most powerful way to teach someone your worth? Disappear. Stop explaining. Stop arguing. Stop trying to convince them to respect you. Simply leave. Because silence speaks louder than words. When you remove yourself, people are forced to confront your absence. And in that absence, they finally begin to see what they once ignored. But by the time they realize it, it may already be too late. The strength of not looking back. The hardest part of walking away is not looking back. Because there will be moments of doubt. There will be moments where you wonder if you made the right choice. There will be moments where they reach out, testing to see if they can pull you back in. Stay firm. If they valued you, they would have shown it before you left. If they truly cared, they would have treated you right while they had you. And if they didn't, then walking away was the best decision you ever made. What happens when you walk away? When you walk away, you regain something priceless, yourself. You rediscover your worth. You reclaim your time. You refocus your energy on the people and pursuits that truly matter. And the people who once took you for granted, they will either learn the lesson or they will fade into the past where they belong. Either way, you win. The final realization. Walking away is a form of self-respect. At the end of the day, walking away is not about them. It is about you. It is about valuing yourself enough to say, I deserve more. I will not settle for less. I am not afraid to be alone, because I would rather walk alone than be with those who do not see my worth. And that decision, that strength, that refusal to accept anything less than respect, that is what separates those who are taken for granted from those who are remembered forever. Because when you walk away, you are not losing. You are winning. Winning back your peace. Winning back your self-respect. Winning back the life you were always meant to live. And that is a lesson they will never forget. The unexpected consequences of self-respect. The moment you start respecting yourself, something strange happens. People who once ignored you start paying attention. People who once used you start wondering why they lost access. People who once took you for granted suddenly miss you. This is the unexpected power of self-respect. Because when you set boundaries, when you stop chasing, when you stop making yourself endlessly available, you become valuable. And for the first time, the people around you are forced to reevaluate your worth. Why people change their behavior when you change yours? Why do people suddenly care when you stop caring? Because before they knew they had you. You were predictable, always there, always responding, always available. There was no urgency to appreciate you. But the moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you stop over-explaining yourself, the moment you stop chasing, something changes. The person who never replied to your messages, suddenly, they want to know why you're so distant. The friends who always made plans without you, Now they want to include you. The people who once dismissed your presence, now they want your attention. Why? Because they see something they never saw before. You are not dependent on their approval, and that makes you powerful. Scarcity creates value. The psychology of absence. There is a universal truth in life. Scarcity creates value. Gold is valuable because it is rare. Diamonds are sought after because they are not easily obtained. People desire what they feel they cannot have freely. Now ask yourself, have you made yourself too easy to access? Because the moment people realize that your time, energy, and attention are not unlimited, they begin to see your worth. Not because they suddenly became better people. Not because they always appreciated you deep down. But because you are no longer an endless resource. And in your absence, they finally see what they had. The Stoic perspective. Control yourself, not others. The Stoics understood something most people never do. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. Marcus Aurelius. You cannot force people to respect you. You cannot demand appreciation. You cannot make someone value you if they refuse to see your worth. But you can control yourself. And when you do, when you stop fighting for people's attention, when you stop proving yourself to those who refuse to see you, when you stop lowering your standards for the sake of acceptance, everything changes. Because the moment you start treating yourself as valuable, the world has no choice but to follow. Who stays, who leaves, and why it doesn't matter. Here's the truth. When you start respecting yourself, some people will leave. The ones who only liked you when you were easy to manipulate. The ones who never saw your worth but enjoyed your effort. The ones who took from you but never gave in return. Let them go, because those who leave were never meant to stay. And those who truly belong in your life, they will rise to meet your new standards. They will appreciate your time. They will respect your boundaries. They will value your presence, not just when they fear losing you, but because they genuinely see your worth. The unshakable power of self-respect. When you carry self-respect, you no longer need to seek external validation. You stop explaining yourself to people who never listened, proving your worth to those who never valued you, begging for space in the lives of those who never made room for you. Instead, you become selective with your energy, confident in your own path, free from the weight of seeking approval. And the irony, the moment you stop needing others' validation, that is when they start chasing yours. The final realization, you set the standard for how others treat you. In the end, you teach people how to treat you, not through your words, not through your complaints, not through your anger, but through your actions, by what you accept, by what you tolerate, by what you allow. And when you stop allowing people to take you for granted, when you walk away from those who fail to appreciate you, when you choose yourself over being endlessly available, you send a message louder than words. I am not here to be used. I am not here to be overlooked. I am not here to be taken for granted. I am here because I choose to be. And if you fail to see my worth, that is not my loss. It is yours. How to maintain your value over time. Earning respect is one thing. Keeping it, that's another challenge altogether. Because the moment you start valuing yourself, the world will test you. Old habits will try to pull you back. Familiar faces will challenge your new boundaries. Moments of doubt will creep in, tempting you to return to a version of yourself that settled for less. But self-respect isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. And if you want to maintain your value over time, you must master the art of consistency. Why people respect consistency, not words. People don't respect words. They respect actions. You can tell someone, I won't tolerate disrespect. But if you let them disrespect you twice, your words mean nothing. You can say, I value my time. But if you keep giving it away to those who waste it, your actions tell a different story. The truth is simple. Your standards are not what you say they are. Your standards are what you consistently enforce. And when you uphold them, when you refuse to compromise, when you show time and time again that you mean what you say, people have no choice but to respect you. The power of selective access. Not everyone deserves access to you, but Too often we let everyone in. We answer every call. We entertain every conversation. We give our energy to those who never earned it, and then we wonder why we feel drained. Here's the reality. Your time is like an exclusive invitation. You don't just hand it out to anyone. You don't let just anyone take a seat at your table. You don't allow people into your life who do not respect your space. Because when access to you is too easy, people stop valuing it. Stop over-explaining yourself. One of the biggest mistakes people make? Over-explaining their decisions. You don't owe anyone an essay on why you set boundaries. You don't need to justify why you walked away. You don't have to convince others to respect you. People who truly respect you won't demand explanations. And those who don't, no explanation will ever be enough. So stop wasting energy trying to make people understand your worth. Simply live it, and let your actions speak for themselves. Silence is a powerful response. Not every action deserves a reaction. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every person who took you for granted deserves a second chance. Sometimes, the most powerful response you can give is silence, because silence does what words cannot. It forces people to sit with their own actions. It removes your energy from situations that no longer serve you. It shows that you are no longer available for disrespect. And in that silence, people will either realize your value or they will fade away. Either way, you win. The Stoic approach, detachment from external validation. The Stoics believed in one thing above all: control what you can. Let go of what you cannot. You cannot control how people treat you, whether they appreciate you, if they regret taking you for granted. But you can control how you react, who you allow in your life, whether you tolerate disrespect. And when you realize that your worth is not dependent on others' recognition of it, you become unstoppable. Long-term self-respect, the unshakable mindset, maintaining your value, is not about getting revenge. It's not about making people regret losing you. It's about becoming so focused on your own path that their opinions no longer affect you. Because true self-respect means you are not bothered by who stays or who leaves. You are not chasing anyone's approval. You are not lowering your standards for temporary companionship. You are at peace with yourself. And that is a power no one can take away from you. The final realization: people will adjust or they will leave. Here's the reality. When you elevate your standards, when you refuse to be taken for granted, when you demand respect, some people will leave. Let them, because the right people, they will rise to meet your standards. They will value your presence. They will respect your worth without you having to remind them. So never lower yourself to fit into spaces that do not deserve you. Stand firm and let the world adjust. The art of walking alone without fear. Most people fear being alone. They stay in toxic relationships. They tolerate disrespect. They settle for less than they deserve, just to avoid walking alone. But those who truly understand their worth, they know that solitude is not a punishment. It is a weapon. Because when you master the art of walking alone, you become someone who cannot be controlled, manipulated, or taken for granted. You become free. Why people fear solitude and why you shouldn't. There is a difference between being alone and being lonely. Most people confuse the two. They believe that if they don't have constant validation, endless distractions, and people always around them, they have nothing. But the truth? The loneliest people are often the ones surrounded by the wrong company. They stay in friendships that drain them. They stay in relationships that suffocate them. They force themselves into spaces where they are not valued, all because they fear the silence of solitude. But what if you embrace it instead? Solitude is where strength is built. The strongest people in history did not build their power in crowds. They built it in solitude. Marcus Aurelius found wisdom in isolation. Seneca trained his mind in silence. Great warriors sharpened their skills alone, preparing for battles yet to come. Because solitude is where you truly meet yourself. It is where you confront your weaknesses, discover your strengths, build the unshakable mindset that makes you immune to external validation. And once you no longer need validation from others, you become untouchable. When you walk alone, you see who follows, Here's the truth most people never realize. When you start walking alone, you force others to make a choice. Those who truly value you will walk with you. Those who only use you will fall behind. And this is how you know who is real and who is not. Because the moment you stop chasing people, the moment you stop begging for their attention, you see their true colors. Do they still care when you are no longer making all the effort? Or were you only valuable when you were easy to access? Silence is a test. Who notices when you're gone? If you truly want to see who values you, do one thing. Disappear for a while. Stop initiating conversations. Stop checking in on people who never check in on you. Stop making yourself available to those who take you for granted. And watch. Who notices? Who reaches out? Who genuinely cares? You will be shocked to realize how many people only benefit from your presence, but never appreciate it. And when you return, you will know exactly who deserves to stay in your life and who doesn't. The power of being unattached. The most powerful people in history had one thing in common. They were unattached, not emotionally numb, not cold-hearted, not incapable of love, but unattached to external approval. They loved freely, but they did not cling. They valued relationships, but they did not fear losing them. They cared deeply, but they did not sacrifice their self-respect. Because once you are willing to walk alone, no one can use your fear of loneliness against you. And that is real power. Let people feel your absence. The problem is, people only appreciate what they think they might lose. They take kindness for granted until it's gone. They take effort for granted until it stops. They take presence for granted until it becomes absence. So instead of pleading for appreciation, give them silence. Let people feel what life is like without you. Let them sit with the realization that you were not obligated to stay. Let them understand that if they do not value you, they will lose you, not as a punishment, but as a simple fact of life. Walking alone is not the end. It's a beginning. Most people think walking alone is the end of something, but in reality, it's the beginning, because when you walk alone, you discover your own strength. You learn who truly values you. You stop wasting time on people who don't deserve you. And in that process, something incredible happens. You stop fearing solitude. Instead, you embrace it. And the world? It respects those who do not fear being alone, because they know a person who walks alone by choice is a person who can never be controlled. The silent power of letting go. Letting go is one of the hardest things in life, not because we don't know it's necessary, but because we resist it. We hold on to people who have already let go of us. We cling to memories, hoping they will bring back what's lost. We fear that if we truly move on, we will lose a part of ourselves. But here's the truth. You cannot grasp the future while clinging to the past. And the ability to let go silently and without resistance is one of the most powerful things you can ever master. Why holding on hurts more than letting go? We hold on because we think it keeps us safe. We believe that if we just try harder, things will change. We convince ourselves that the past version of someone will return. We tell ourselves that letting go means losing, but in reality, it means choosing yourself. What if I told you that holding on is what's causing the pain, the stress, the sleepless nights, the endless overthinking? All of it comes from trying to force something that no longer fits. But the moment you let go, the weight disappears. Because you finally realize you were never meant to carry it forever. Letting go is not weakness, it's strength. Society tells us that persistence is strength, that fighting for something, no matter what, makes you strong. But real strength is knowing when to stop fighting, when to say, I have given enough. I have tried enough. I have done my part. And then walk away with dignity. Letting go is not giving up. It is refusing to lose yourself for something that no longer serves you. The silent power of disappearing without a word. Most people make a mistake when they let go. They announce it. They explain themselves. They seek closure. But the most powerful form of letting go? Silence. No warnings. No explanations. No dramatic exits. Just disappearing from situations that no longer align with you. Because here's the truth. People will only feel your absence when they no longer have access to you. And by the time they realize what they lost, it will already be too late. Detaching without bitterness. Letting go doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. It simply means you have outgrown the version of yourself that needed them. You no longer beg for effort. You no longer chase appreciation. You no longer stay where you are not valued. And the best part? You do it without resentment. Because letting go is not about making them feel your pain. It's about freeing yourself from it. The law of replacement. What you lose will be replaced. Nature has a rule. Nothing is lost. Everything is replaced. The same applies to your life. The friends you lost, they will be replaced by better ones. The relationship that ended, it will be replaced by something healthier. The opportunities that slipped away, they will be replaced by greater ones. But the replacements can only come when you make space. Holding on to the wrong things blocks the right things from entering. Let go and watch how life fills the empty spaces with something far greater. People who took you for granted will learn too late. Some people won't realize your value until you're gone. They will look for you in places you no longer exist. They will remember your kindness when no one else offers it. They will finally appreciate you when their access to you is denied. But by then, you will be far beyond their reach. Because by the time they understand the cost of taking you for granted, you will already have moved on, and you won't need them anymore. Moving forward without looking back. Letting go is not about looking back to see if they follow. It's about never looking back at all. No checking if they miss you. No hoping for an apology. No waiting for closure. Because the moment you truly let go, you no longer need closure. You simply accept that some things end, and that endings are not losses. They are new beginnings. Final thought. The strength to walk away. Not everyone has the strength to walk away. But those who do, they gain everything. Because when you learn to let go, you are no longer bound by the past. You are no longer waiting for people to value you. You are no longer afraid of losing what was never truly yours. You become free. And that freedom, that is where your true power begins. When you stop chasing, you start winning. Life has a strange way of testing us. It places what we want just out of reach. It makes us believe that if we chase hard enough, we will eventually catch it. But here's the reality. What is meant for you will never require you to chase it. And the moment you stop running after things that do not align with you, the right things start coming to you effortlessly. This is one of the most powerful lessons in life. Chasing is a sign of misalignment. And when you stop chasing, you finally start winning. Why chasing creates resistance? Most people believe that effort equals results. That if they just work harder in a relationship, it will improve. Try more in a friendship, the other person will appreciate them. Prove their worth to others. They will finally be accepted. But the truth is, the more you chase, the more things run from you. It's human nature. When someone feels you need them, they pull away. When someone senses desperation, they lose respect. When someone knows you will always be there, they take you for granted. Because chasing creates resistance. It signals lack. And nothing valuable ever comes from a place of lack. The power of becoming the prize. There are two types of people in this world. 1, those who chase. 2, those who attract. The first group exhausts themselves running after people, opportunities, and validation. The second group, they become so valuable that everything gravitates toward them. This is a secret. Stop proving your worth. Start embodying it. Instead of begging for attention, develop yourself so much that you command it naturally. Instead of forcing relationships, build a life so great that the right people want to be part of it. Instead of chasing opportunities, create so much value that opportunities chase you. Winners don't run after things. They become the prize. People respect what they cannot easily have. Here's something most people don't realize. People respect what is scarce. If you are always available, if you always respond immediately, if you always adjust your life to fit others, you become too common. And what is common is never valued. This is why when you pull back, people start noticing you. The friend who ignored your messages suddenly wonders why you stopped texting. The person who never made time for you suddenly starts reaching out. The one who took you for granted suddenly realizes your absence. Because when you stop giving yourself away so easily, people finally see your value. The shift from chaser to magnet. When you stop chasing, you shift your energy. Instead of desperation, you radiate confidence. Instead of neediness, you exude self-sufficiency. Instead of proving, you simply become. And this shift changes everything. People are naturally drawn to those who don't need them. Why? Because independence is attractive. Self-assurance is magnetic. And when you know your worth, the world starts treating you accordingly. How to stop chasing and start winning. If you want to stop chasing and start winning, follow these steps. 1. Detach from outcomes. Stop obsessing over specific people or results. Trust that the right things will come at the right time. 2. Master self-control. Don't react emotionally. Stay calm. The less you chase, the more power you hold. 3. Invest in yourself. Focus on growth. When you become better, your environment automatically improves. 4. Withdraw your energy from unreciprocated efforts. If someone isn't meeting you halfway, stop walking toward them. 5. Let absence speak louder than words. Instead of explaining your worth, let people experience life without you. When you implement these changes, something incredible happens. You stop chasing, and everything that is meant for you starts finding you instead. The unexpected lesson of letting go. At first, letting go feels like losing. It feels like giving up. But in reality, it is the most strategic move you can make. Because when you stop trying to control everything, life flows naturally. The wrong people leave. The right people arrive. Opportunities unfold effortlessly. And you realize you were never supposed to chase in the first place. Final thought. The strength of letting things come to you. Chasing is a sign of fear. It comes from the belief that if you don't hold on tightly, things will slip away. But the truth, what is truly yours will never require force. So step back, let go, allow things to unfold naturally, and watch how you start winning without chasing at all. The ultimate revenge, success in silence. There's a kind of revenge that is louder than words. It doesn't require arguments. It doesn't demand explanations. It doesn't seek validation. It is silent, and yet it is the most powerful response you can ever give to those who doubted you, overlooked you, or took you for granted. That revenge? Success. But not just any success. Success in silence. Because when you rise without announcing it, when you build without seeking applause, when you grow without needing recognition, by the time they realize what you become, it will already be too late. Why silence is your greatest weapon. Most people make a mistake when they start succeeding. They tell everyone. They share their plans. They announce their next moves. They seek approval before they've even achieved anything. And in doing so, they invite doubt, jealousy, distractions. Because the moment people know you're rising, some will try to pull you down. But when you move in silence, no one can stop what they can't see coming. The power of making them wonder. There's something powerful about mystery. When you disappear from places where you were once underestimated, when you stop giving explanations, when you let them wonder why they no longer have access to you, you create an effect that is unforgettable. Because nothing haunts people more than the realization that they lost someone valuable. And the less you reveal, the more they obsess over what you become. The best response is no response. Most people waste energy trying to prove themselves. They want to show their ex they've moved on. They want to prove their old boss was wrong about them. They want to rub their success in the faces of those who doubted them. But the truth? The best response is no response. Because the moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you stop caring about what they think, you win. Why they'll regret taking you for granted. One day, they'll check your profile. They'll see you thriving. They'll see your glow. They'll see your success. And they'll remember how they once had access to you, how they once dismissed your worth, how they once thought you'd never rise. But by then, you won't even be thinking about them, because the ultimate revenge, is moving so far ahead that they can never catch up. Building in silence, striking in power. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means strategy. You don't announce your next move. You make it. You don't tell them your plans. You execute them. You don't seek validation. You let results speak for themselves. And when you finally reveal what you've been building, it will be undeniable. Focus on your growth, not their reactions. Here's the truth. Your success is not about them. It's not about making them jealous. It's not about proving them wrong. It's not about revenge. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, for you. And when you do that, everything else falls into place. How to master the art of silent success. If you want to succeed in silence, follow these steps. 1. Stop announcing your goals. Work in private. Let success speak for itself. 2. Eliminate unnecessary distractions. Focus on growth, not on proving yourself to others. 3. Move in silence, strike with results. Let people be shocked when they see how far you've come. 4. Let go of the need for validation. You don't need them to believe in you. Believe in yourself. 5. Focus on consistency, not attention. Keep building, even when no one is watching. Because when you do these things, the world will have no choice but to notice. The moment they realize it's too late, one day they will look for you. They will wonder where you went. They will wonder how you did it. They will wonder why they didn't see your value when they had the chance. But by then, you will have already moved on. You will have already become unstoppable. And the best part? You never had to say a word, because the ultimate revenge was your success all along. Final thought. Let success do the talking. Let others talk. Let them wonder. Let them assume. While you build, you grow, you rise. And when the day comes that they finally realize your worth, you won't even need to respond, because your success will have already said everything. They took you for granted. Now let them watch you rise. Stop proving your worth. Start embodying it. Build in silence. Strike with results. Subscribe to the Crit Wisdom for more stoic wisdom. Drop a comment. What was your biggest takeaway from this video?